Hey, I'm sitting on my sofa now. I love having a sofa in my office. Um, I wanted to talk with you about why is yesterday's news running today and tomorrow's show? Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about, I wonder why I'm not quite getting the results that I want and need? I have been using emotional freedom technique and simply aligned technique, which with simply aligned, I use muscle testing, and you can do it like lots of different ways. You can do this. This is not a Nazi gesture like this. You can do like this one's really tricky, whether you got sticky fingers or not. You can, I don't know if you've been to the chiropractor and they, or the vitamin lady and they do that. Anyways, muscle testing, pretty weird, but it's really cool. Like I've trained myself to follow along, and I can check with clients if they're having like what their challenge is and what number they need to price things at. I'll just muscle test. If it holds strong, that's a yes. If it breaks, that's a no or a weak. We can chat about that another time. But in our life, we have a timeline. And I actually got to do some timeline therapy with Leslie Thornton today. That was fantastic. And I was like, this is the stuff I have done because in my counseling program, I basically fully understand that sometimes we get arrested in our development and we get stuck. And sometimes there's things that have happened somewhere in the womb, before we were born, or from birth to 7, we just get imprinted on and we get stories. And I worked with a coach back in 2012 and it was awesome. She helped me clear a story about something. And I was like, completely shifted things. And that's where I just have gotten more and more passionate about let's clear our stories. Let's tell the truth. So you can actually find this on my website, riseupjourney.com. This is like a time. This is actually like can you see it? It's like a coat rack, right? And little pegs where we would hang our little coats. And everything is fine and dandy at birth. And then this is different ages. And I got 2 years old and 4 years old. Everything's happy. Life is wonderful. And then something happened at 10 years old. We got stuck on the nail. Mess happened. And until you process it, this is processing your stuff. Process the upset. That's what I wrote down on there. And this was my early stage what is that logo. It's now upgraded, but yeah, isn't that fun? I drew that and sent it to somebody to build it. But once you get stuck in life, if you process the upset, now you can be successful. So this is my little timeline. I just love drawing things out. I am so visual. So all that to say, could there be a time in your past where somebody's like, you stink, you're not good enough, or yeah, you're never going to make it, or yeah, whatever, I don't like you, I don't want you here, you don't belong. I have a friend of mine, she had something happen to her in life when she was in her 20s, and her whole situation in life changed compared to the rest of the world around hers. And ever since then, she's had the story in her head, I don't fit. And you know what happens is when you have that story, you look for things to verify it. And currently today, she has a hard time finding friends. Not because she's not a lovely person. She just has that in her mind that she doesn't fit. So she keeps reenacting that. So in your business, are you thinking, I'm never going to make it? Well, what's that about? Let's go back. If you ever want to talk through your timeline or sort through it, let's go back and look at it. You can actually look at your timeline, and if you just get still and quiet and you go, when was the first time that happened? And you can think, was it at 0? Was it 1 years old? Was it 2 years old? Was it 3 years old? 4 years old? And think about it. Today, I actually have a whole box full of pictures, and I was going through my old photos and just looking at, sometimes you can look at your photos and go, that I don't look like that happy of a child right there. Or, oh yeah, I remember that one time, and it brings back memories. Quite frankly, I looked at our photos growing up. We were rowdy children. There was 3 of us at home and rowdy, whew, noisy. And yeah, and most of the time today, people tell me, you just love to smile. I do, because I like to have a good time. So, but look back, but my brother was a bully and a pain in the patukas, either way. Um, And I had to work through my story about him and how he made me feel when we'd be going to school and he had to make sure I cried on the way to school most days. So I had to work through that. And once I worked through that, man, it opened up so many doors for me. And I actually got Sales Excellence Club twice after that. So, yay, good things. Check your timeline because your timeline will tell a story. And if you keep seeing the same story coming up, check back. When was the last time that happened? Did it happen when you were 20? Did it happen when you were 18? Think back to when it first happened or when it last happened. And let me know if you're interested, and I'll get you some emotional freedom technique tapping exercises for that. You can actually find that on YouTube and clear some of the resistance because sometimes we are letting our life be affected today from yesterday's story. So clean that mess up so you can have awesomeness in your life because we don't want you stuck. We want you living free and having fun. Have a great day. Go be great and go be you. Julie Gardner, Rise Up Journey.